Hey, welcome to another episode of Hold the Truth Hostage, where if the truth was so important, we would hold it hostage until we got all the information we wanted. So, on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about celebrity suicide, famous suicide. Just my thoughts on suicide when it comes to the celebrities and people that reach a high caliber of success. Now, this video might be long, it might be short, because off the top of the head, and I'm just diving mentally into my mind to figure things out. As we know, Chester, R.I.P. Chester, from Linkin Park, that was my band. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Had to do that. Or, it starts with one thing. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard to try. Keep that in mind. I designed these rhymes to explain in due time. All I know. Man. Or Chester. Some people might not consider this a suicide. Michael Jackson, I believe that was a slow suicide. You have, someone such as the man who played the, Joker, Heath Ledger, and, there's just been a lot of, suicides, a lot of people famous here and there, successful, that had everything, quote unquote, they wanted died. Even my man from Navarnia, he died. A lot of people, a lot of celebrities have taken their lives. Robin Williams committed suicide not too long ago. I believe even Extension even committed suicide. A lot of people like to believe that suicide is when you write a note, hang yourself, or overdose. No, I believe there's a slow suicide also, or as I call it, situational suicide, where you set yourself up to where the only outcome is you die. Triple X, Extacion's case, he was having beef with a lot of rappers online, a lot of threats here and there, and he was worth millions, and he didn't drive around with security detail, no protection. When you demand that kind of level of attention and aggression, you have to prepare for it, and I believe his was a situational suicide. So now let's get to the bottom of it. So what I've come to believe is that a lot of celebrities, musicians, famous people take their lives because it's not because they miss being successful, as in they miss when the crowd was they were new and fresh. I don't believe it's that. I don't believe they take their lives because of that, nor do they take their lives because I was so famous and so popular. Now I'm not. I'm getting old. I don't believe it's that. Some maybe they had mental issues before. It kind of makes sense they took their lives, out of mental reasons. But I believe the ones that are more sane took their own lives because they miss they miss that time where all that mattered was what they wanted to accomplish. Like right now, a lot of people want to be famous. A lot of people are focused on wanting what others have. And a lot of people are quote unquote angry that they're nobodies, no one knows them, and they're thirsty for attention. What I mean, Sprite might like, they're thirsty for attention, so they're obeying their thirst by acting out, acting out online, doing a lot of things that will get them attention. But in reality, a lot of them don't understand the pressure and the lack of privacy and the lack of intimacy that you have when you're a nobody. Like right now, not a lot of people know me. You know, I get to walk outside, I get to do me, get to focus on what I want, what I like, without the pressure of anyone, their opinions having weight on me. And I believe a lot of the celebrities, end up killing themselves, even though they're worth millions, billions, whatever the amount of money is. They end up killing themselves because they no longer have any privacy or self-worth, where their actions are all that matters. Now picture this, you're Chester from Lincoln Park. You're working on trying to become a successful rock star, or you're just trying to do what you love. You put all your energy into that. You're zoned in, you're locked in, you're focused on that particular aspect of your life, which is making music and being a part of it. That's all you're focused on. And this is before your success. No one knows you, so no one knows you. So you're all that matters. Only your attention and your focus is all that matters, you know? So now you're Chester. You make a Linkin Park album. Linkin Park's first album, amazing. It becomes successful, groundbreaking. You succeed at an extreme level. Now, that zone you were once in, where it was all about what you wanted to do and trying to become successful, is gone. Now, after your first album, the public's talking about, will it be better? Will the next album be better than the first album? Will the next album sound like the first album? There's so much now. Their opinions weigh on what you want to do and what you can do. Now there's a level of pressure and that was not there before your success. And I believe a lot of celebrities, that famous people that kill themselves, they're trying to go the opposite way. They want that moment they had before they were successful. The ability to do what you want without hearing noise or, the opinions of others to determine whether what you did was right or successful, or worst of all, whether what you did was true to who you are. There's a lot of celebrities, when they do something, the public will say, "Oh man, that doesn't sound like the original you. That ain't you." As in, you're trapped in a state where they don't want you to evolve, or they don't even understand that maybe that first thing you did wasn't the real you. It was all you could manage to do. I believe that a lot of celebrities commit suicide because they're seeking. Now I have the success, but in having that success, I lost all the I lost my own identity, because now the public determines your identity. Now the public determines what you do, whether it's right or wrong. Now the public has so much control over your life and even what you're passionate about, that you can't even do it anymore. You can't do it with the level of attention and love that you used to want to do. And I believe that's one of the main reasons a lot of these celebrities kill themselves or commit suicide, because I have millions of dollars, billions, or whatever you want to call it. I have all this money, but I can't do nothing. I can't do nothing without someone looking at me and saying I've done something that's wrong. I've done something that isn't true to who I am. How can you tell me what's true? Tell me what's true to who I am. You're not me. But that's what happens to a lot of these celebrities. They lose so much of who they are in succeeding, because now the public's opinions and how much they buy your album determines whether it's quality, whether you tried as hard as you could. Even though you put the same amount of effort, if not more, on your next project, the public could call you out and say you're lazy, you know? So a lot of these celebrities who kill themselves literally do it because they can't seem to get back to who they are, where that moment where it was just them, the world didn't know who they were, they had privacy, they could do whatever they want. Now I know some of you are thinking, well, what if you're a celebrity that isn't known? Well, guess what? That in itself is a problem, because guess what? Because the public isn't paying attention to you, that's saying you're a failure. You know, that's what happens. Even if you're a celebrity you disappeared for a lot of years. The public's now they're putting, are you dead? Where are you? Even though you're successful and have your money, they're saying you don't exist, or you might have died, just because you're no longer in the public eye and they're no longer paying attention to you. So you can't even live, you can't even live, away from the public, because guess what? The public's opinion is always on you. It's like uh it's like a boss that you can't, even if you quit, you're gonna have the same boss no matter what job you get, no matter what you do. For example, I'll use Kanye West. Kanye West makes shoes now, but the audience that knew him from music is still putting a level of judgment, a level of attention from him. They're still demanding things. Basically, once you become successful in the public eye, a lot of people like to say, well, you sold his soul. You didn't sell your soul. You sold your own, in my opinion, when you succeed at a certain point, you sell and lose your privacy. And I'm not talking about privacy where, I can eat food by myself. No, you sell the ability, you lose the ability to do anything on your own. You lose the ability where your opinions come first. And that's what happens. That's what I believe a lot of celebrities commit suicide. Now, I'll touch up a little on, the Michael Jackson thing. Michael Jackson, to me, I'll most likely have to do a whole other video where I dive deep into what happened to Michael Jackson, but I'll break it down into a quick summary. Now, Michael Jackson was small. His father gave him all the attention in the world. He had over 5 sons. He wanted them to be the musician he wasn't. He paid all the attention. He worked them. He gave them all his time. Now, Michael Jackson becomes successful. Now, Michael, being little, probably thinks, Dad is believing in us. He's giving us all this attention. Doesn't understand that his father was desperate to succeed, to feed and, feed his family and so on, because of, the scenario of how, he brought them into this world where he wasn't working or making enough income to support them all completely. So what happens is, Michael Jackson's father gives him all this attention, tries to help him succeed. Michael now succeeds, and when he succeeds, the attention from his father, dissipates. So now Michael's on his own. And now Michael, later on, does all the plastic surgery. Back in the day, I thought it was, because, he wanted to look different or something like that. But I believe it's that I want to look different from the person my father gave all this attention to, that maybe I'll get more attention if I'm from my father if I'm a new person. I might be right, I might be wrong, but it's a thought. So Michael eventually realizes, even though he looks different, even though all this and that, that closeness to his family and his father especially, it wasn't out of what he thought it was as a child. So slowly Michael takes drugs, and slowly he kills himself slowly. I call it slow suicide. You know, you got, a lot of people, a lot of celebrities, and a lot more. Yes, there's divorce and there's a lot of other stuff, that financial woes and all that stuff, but you have to understand that before these celebrities were successful, they were basically living on their own. They were mentally individuals. But once you succeed in the public eye, you're no longer allowed to technically be an individual, because the public is calling you out at all times. And this celebrity doesn't can't find a way away from the public opinion. You succeed more, the public comes at you more. Even if you succeed, they start calling you, well, you're not the old you. What happened to the old you? We want the old you. Then we want the new you. They're ripping your mental state apart. Or if you disappear from them, people are claiming you died. You no longer exist. You're a failure. You basically can never have that freedom you've had before you were successful and a major celebrity. You know, and that's just my thoughts on famous and celebrity suicides. It took me a while to think about it, and I think that a lot of celebrities commit suicide because they miss those moments when it was just about them, their friends, and who they cared about and what they cared about, not what the public cared about and told them what to do. And at some point they break, and they break to the point where they end up taking their life, or in a situation like XXXTentacion, where you set yourself up. You set yourself up to lose your life. Because you in that level, with that level of success, you can no longer truly be free or an individual anymore. You're strictly, underneath and being watched and told what to do from the public at all times. You know, and like I said, I'm not talking about mental issues, but I believe that's a strong reason why a lot of celebrities commit suicide. All right, well, thank you for listening to me. I hope some of this helped out, and look forward to your comments, and look forward to talking to you more about this particular thought of mine. And have a good day. And like, comment, share, and in the words of Diddy, subscribe or die. Hold the truth hostage.